You've stood in front of a painting and felt absolutely nothing. And then someone next to you started crying. And you thought, what are they seeing that I'm not seeing? What do they know that I don't know? Is there something wrong with me, or is there something wrong with the painting? Here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with you, but there is something you're missing. And it's not art history. It's not technique. It's not the ability to recognize brushwork or color theory or compositional balance. It's something much simpler than that. And once I tell you what it is, you won't be able to unsee it. Most people approach art the wrong way. They walk up to something, a painting, a sculpture, a photograph, and they immediately try to figure out what it means. They read the label, they look for the explanation, they want someone to hand them the answer so they can decide whether they like it or not. But that's not how art works. That's how a multiple choice test works. Art doesn't have a correct answer. Art has a frequency. And your job, the only job you actually have when you're standing in front of a piece of art, is to tune in. Think about the last time you heard a song that stopped you completely. Maybe you were driving. Maybe you were doing the dishes, and suddenly this song came on and you couldn't move. You weren't thinking about the chord progression. You weren't analyzing the lyrics. You were just inside it. Something in you had recognized something in the music before your brain had a chance to interfere. That's what art is trying to do to you every single time. The reason it doesn't always work isn't because the art is bad or because you're unsophisticated. It's because somewhere along the way, you learn to approach art with your head instead of your body. You learn to evaluate before you feel, and evaluation is the enemy of experience. So here's the first thing that will change how you see art forever. Stop asking what it means, start asking what it does. Not, what is this painting about? But, what is this painting doing to me right now, in this moment, in my body? Does it make you feel crowded? Does it make you feel still? Does something in your chest loosen when you look at it, or tighten? Does it make you want to lean in, or step back? These are not soft questions. These are not vague, unserious, non-intellectual responses to art. These are the most precise data you have access to. Your body is reading the painting faster than your brain can. And if you slow down enough to actually listen to it, you'll discover you have a lot more to say about art than you think you do. The artist Wassily Kandinsky believed that color was sound, that yellow held long enough could pierce you like a trumpet, that blue pulled you inward like a cello. He wasn't speaking metaphorically. He had a neurological condition called synesthesia that meant he literally experienced color as music. But his point was that all of us have some version of this, that we respond to visual information the way we respond to sound emotionally and physically before we have the words for it. You already speak the language of art. You've just been told to speak it in translation. The second thing, art is always a conversation between the artist and their moment. Every piece of art that has ever existed was made by a specific person in a specific body, living a specific life, inside a specific set of circumstances they could not escape. And when you understand that, everything changes. Take Frida Kahlo. You've probably seen her work, the self-portraits, the impossible images of her own body, broken and flowering at the same time. A lot of people look at her paintings and think, this is suffering. And yes, it is. But it's also something else. It's a woman who was told her life was not worth depicting, deciding to depict it anyway, over and over and over again, in full color, without apology. When you know that she painted lying flat on her back because she couldn't sit up, when you know she had over 30 surgeries, when you know she kept painting anyway. Not despite the pain, but almost through it, as if the brush was the only instrument that could translate what was happening inside her. The work doesn't just become more interesting. It becomes urgent. It becomes an argument. It becomes someone grabbing you by the shoulders and saying, look at what a human being can survive and still make beautiful things. That's what context does. It doesn't explain the art, it opens a door so you can walk further inside it. The third thing, and this is the one most people never think about, art is always about the thing underneath the thing. No artist sits down to paint a bowl of fruit because they find fruit fascinating. The fruit is never the point. The light falling across the fruit is the point. The way the light makes the fruit look like it's already rotting, already past its moment of perfection. That's the point. The Dutch masters painted still lifes that look like celebrations of abundance, and they were also painting the inevitability of decay. Both things at the same time, held in the same image. This is what art can do that almost nothing else can. Hold two contradictory truths simultaneously without having to resolve them. Joy and grief in the same frame. Beauty and violence, intimacy and isolation. When you start looking for the thing underneath the thing, art stops being a surface you observe and becomes a depth you enter. You start noticing that the painting of a woman looking out a window is not really about the window. It's about longing. The sculpture of a hand is not really about a hand, it's about everything a hand reaches for and can't hold. Once you see this, you will start seeing it everywhere. In the art you love and in the art you thought you didn't understand. The fourth thing, and this one might be the most important of all. You are not a passive observer of art, you are part of it. A painting sitting in a dark room with no one looking at it is an unfinished thing. It needs you to complete it. Not because the artist was incomplete, but because art is not a transmission, it's a meeting. The meaning lives in the space between the work and the person standing in front of it. And that space is different for every person, which means your response to a piece of art is not irrelevant or accidental or wrong. It is one of the possible lives that piece of art can live. Roland Barthes, the French critic, wrote about the death of the author. This idea that once a work is made and released into the world, it no longer belongs to the person who made it. It belongs to whoever is reading it, whoever is standing in front of it, whoever is letting it move through them. This is not permission to be careless about what art means. It's an invitation to be honest about what it means to you. Your history is in the room with you when you look at art. Your losses, your longings, the specific texture of your particular life, all of it. And a great piece of art will find a way to speak directly to that, to the exact shape of your specific grief or joy or confusion, even though it was made by a stranger in another century who never knew you existed. That's not a coincidence. That's what art is for. When a piece of art reaches you, really reaches you, it's not because you finally understood it correctly, it's because something in it recognized something in you. The artist was lonely in a particular way, and you have been lonely in that way too. And suddenly, across all that time and distance and difference, you are not alone. That's the thing art can do that no other language can. Here's what I want you to try. The next time you're in front of art, any art, even something on your phone, even a film still, even a photograph in a magazine, I want you to stay with it for longer than feels comfortable. Don't reach for your phone. Don't look for the caption. Don't try to decide quickly whether you like it or not. Just let it be in your field of vision and notice what happens in your body. Then ask yourself, what is this doing to me? Then ask yourself, what might the person who made this have been living through? Then ask yourself, what is this really about? Underneath what it says it's about. Then ask yourself the one that changes everything. What in me does this already know? You don't need an art degree for any of this. You don't need to know the difference between impressionism and expressionism. You don't need to have been to Paris. You just need to be willing to slow down long enough for the thing to reach you. Because art doesn't ask you to be smart. It asks you to be present. The reason we think we don't understand art is because we've been taught that understanding is intellectual, that to truly appreciate something, you have to be able to explain it. But art operates below explanation. It works on the part of you that formed before language. The part that knows a storm is coming before the clouds arrive. The part that responds to a minor chord the way it responds to a sudden silence. With recognition, with something that is almost memory. You were built for this. You have always been built for this. You just needed someone to tell you that how you feel in front of a painting is not a lesser response to art. It is the whole point of art. Go feel something.